I'm Jason and welcome to Technique of the Week. Today we're going to be showing you guys when you're stamping concrete, if you get a little bit too dark at a spot, if the release agent sticks a little too hard and you want to try to get it off and it's not coming off with a normal scrub brush or a pressure washer, how to get that off and to make it lighten up a little bit. So a lot of times, when this happens, that can actually cause a problem with the sealer, bonding to the concrete. So this is an easy thing to do if you can't get that release agent off. So all I've done here is I got 5 quarts of water that I've already got measured out here. I'm just gonna dump that in a bucket. And you can either use a bucket for this or you can put it in one of these plastic sprayers. So I'm gonna do a 10-to-1. We're gonna cut it, the muriatic acid that we have here, we're gonna cut it 10-to-1 to start. I'm just gonna fill this other one. That was 5 quarts I just put in there. Okay, so then I'm just gonna put a quart of muriatic acid. This stuff's nasty, so make sure you wear masks and gloves when you're doing this. We're gonna take an acid brush and use that because I'm just trying to lighten up the border on this particular project. You can see this is a lot darker than what I want it to be. We want it to be more like the color of the fire pit here. We don't want to dip straight out of our water and put it right onto here because it'll really etch into it hard if we don't have this surface damp first. And it's also important, the areas around it, if you're not trying to do the other areas, it's important that you water that down too, and just have somebody with the hose kind of, as soon as I get one of these blocks done, he's gonna kind of rinse it off so that water doesn't run on to the other part, because we don't want to take more color off this one. I'm gonna dip this in the acid, kind of shake it off a little bit. I always start 10-to-1, and this concrete's been down for at least a week. So if you're trying to do this the next day, don't try that the next day. You'd have to probably dilute it like 20-to-1 if you're trying to do it the next day. And you can adjust the ratio of how much acid you put in it depending on what you're doing. But I would never start stronger than 10-to-1. So when I'm done with that, he's gonna go ahead and spray that off so it doesn't run on the rest of it. Now I put this solution in a sprayer. Same idea, just less chance of it dripping. It's important when you're working with muriatic acid too that you use all plastic parts. If this has, if your parts have any, and just get a cheap sprayer, because if you have any parts that are steel, it'll corrode it and the sprayer will be ruined. So if you're doing a huge area for this, the sprayer technique would work better. But for this border, it really does just work better just probably dipping it out of the bucket. So since we use muriatic acid on this, it's really important that we get it good and clean. Now, with diluted as it is, I've really never had a problem with neutralizing. I know you guys do acid stain or use muriatic acid. Everybody says you gotta neutralize it. Well, this particular thing, if you just pressure wash it really hard, you're able to just get it off and really just flood it with water, especially if you're outside. That's never a problem. So this is just a little tip, and I realize a lot of you guys probably know this already, but I still think it's a great opportunity for guys that are just getting into this business to learn. So I appreciate you joining us today, and we'll see you next week.